formed when this water vapour cools down? Clouds. Yeah, you got it. Here's the clouds forming. What's the C word? Condensation. Good. It condenses. Right. We're getting there. Then, if you think about where we live on an island which sticks out a little bit into the Atlantic Ocean. If you look at the weather forecast maps, you'll find that most of our wet weather, our bad weather, comes across the Atlantic Ocean from America, blown to us by southwesterly winds. These winds, when they blow across the water, there's nothing in their way, they speed up, they pick up evaporated water vapour, goes up into the air, cools down, the clouds get blown towards us. That's where we get most of our bad weather, most of our rain. Now, when the winds blow towards the land, they're blowing these clouds towards the land. As the winds meet the land, they slow down. They slow down quite quickly. That's why hurricanes blow fast across the Gulf of Mexico, but when they hit the land in Texas, they stop and drop all the rain and the wind. So this is what happens. The winds, which we can't really see, just moving air, get forced up. The clouds become heavy. And then what happens? Yes? It rains. What's the big word for rain? Precipitation. Here you go. It's easy to spell. So, precipitation can be four things. Boy in glasses over there. Tell me one of the four things that precipitation can be. We know one was rain. What's another one? Something falling from the sky. Could be quite cold. Sorry? Snow. Good. Is there another one? Hail. And the last one? Sleet. You got them four. Very good. So here's the rain falling on the land. Any land. Our land. This land is our land. That's a song. Never mind. So look, we've got the rain falling on the land. If it falls on hard rock, and we are the worst people in the world for making hard rock. We've done it outside. You walked along it. That's a road. That's hard rock. To rain, that's hard rock. You walk up the hill, that's almost like a hard rocky mountain. But we've made them down here. We've covered our land in concrete and tarmac. So, if the rain falls on hard rock, it will do something. It won't sink into that hard rock, but it might form little streams. Good. And when it does that, as it runs off the hard rock, we're going to give that a name, because you'll see it later. It's called surface runoff. You heard that word before now. So as the rainwater runs off hard rock, which could be a road, but in nature it will be hard rocks, it's called surface runoff. Now some of that water will get into rivers, because these little streams will join up to make a bigger stream and eventually a bigger river. Let's say some of this rain falls on a different kind of rock, like the one round London, chalk. What's that rainwater going to do? Where's it going to go? And what do we call the water under the ground? Groundwater, that's right. So as it sinks down into the ground, like what it does round London, and gathers underneath, if there's a rock underneath that chalk, like clay, which stops the water going any further down, the water builds up. What's the biggest river near us? The biggest river goes through London, yes? The River Thames. Does anyone know where it starts? Okay, it starts about 200 miles roughly, a bit more, away from us in Gloucestershire, in a hole in the ground in a field. Because the rock there is limestone, a bit like chalk. And the River Thames comes from groundwater that builds up under the ground, bubbles out of a hole in the ground, say here. There's the River Thames, not really. What do we call that hole in the ground that the water bubbles out? If you go to Hampstead Heath, look for little streams. They all bubble out of holes in the ground in Hampstead Heath. They're all called something. And Homer Simpson lives there. Yes?
The source?
They're called the source, but we give them, that's what they give the name to all the places rivers start. But this one, this hole in the ground, it's called a spring. Very good. Okay, and we've just heard that where rivers begin is called their source. Excellent. All these rivers then make their way down towards the sea. And you can tell me now what this cycle of events is called. What cycle is it? It's called the water cycle. Yeah, I thought you might know that. Very good. Right.